If you enjoy this featured episode of Marvel Plus, please go over and favorite or follow the Marvel Plus podcast to get future episodes. It's official. 2020 will henceforth be known as the year without the MCU. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Marvel Plus, the podcast devoted solely to the Disney Plus Marvel series. My name is Brett Scott, I am your host, and this is the show. If this is your first time listening, let me just fill you in on what this show is all about. Marvel Plus is a companion podcast for the Disney Plus Marvel series, where I and a slew of guest hosts will break down and review each episode of these series each week as they release. The review episodes will be less scripted, way more loose and conversational than these update episodes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that sounds like something you can vibe with. Please favorite or follow the podcast to get all future episodes of the podcast. Okay. So, by now, you have probably all heard that WandaVision has been delayed until January 15th, 2021, making 2020 officially the year without the MCU. Isn't it crazy to think that the last new MCU content we saw was way back in June of 2019, when we got Spider-Man Far From Home? Does that not seem like a lifetime ago? Holy crap, I feel like that movie has been around for a decade. I remember at the time, after watching it, thinking that we were going to have to wait almost a full year to see another MCU film. We were supposed to get Black Widow in May of 2020. That would have been the longest stretch of time without an MCU film since the release of Iron Man. I'm pretty sure. I remember thinking how much it was going to suck, having to wait that long to dive back in. And now here we are, 6 months removed from that release date that came and went with no film. If we end up actually getting WandaVision in January, we will have gone a full 20 months without these characters. I say if because this is now the third or fourth time the series have been pushed back. Like, first we got the news that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was being pushed back. And then it came about that Winter Soldier was being pushed back even further. So far back, in fact, that we were going to get the originally planned second series, WandaVision, before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We were told we would get WandaVision in November and Falcon and the Winter Soldier early 2021. After that, WandaVision was pushed back again to December. And now, finally, so it seems, it has been pushed back to hopefully its final release date of January 2021. So who knows? I don't know what that means for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. As I've said in previous episodes, I think that they're going to put some space in between each of these series. So by that logic, if we aren't getting WandaVision until January, does this mean we won't see Falcon and the Winter Soldier until April? May? I have no idea, but the anticipation is killing me. I had the idea to start this podcast way back in October of 2019. Just a few months after we heard the news about these new series on Disney Plus. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to get this show on the road. So much waiting that eventually I decided it was time to start the show, whether or not we had any series. And I just began recording these update episodes. Not only because I think it's relevant information that people might want, but also just for my own sanity. I love the subject matter and have been waiting well over a year. And so here we are talking about these series on a companion podcast for series that don't even exist yet. So I'm a little disappointed, but it's okay. I'm cautiously optimistic that this will be the final delay. And I understand the need to push these series back. I mean, COVID-19 has thrown a wrench into the entire system of everyone's lives. And I realize how ridiculously first world this is of me to complain that I'm not getting my stories on time. But man, I'm just so excited for these shows. I've been waiting such a long time. So today I figured I'd dig into this article announcing the January 15th release date and see if there's any other info that I haven't given you already. It may seem a little repetitive after that intro, but I like to provide sources for any information that I give. On this podcast, I try to avoid theories and speculation as much as possible, so I don't have to recant it later and give you the impression that I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know, maybe I don't have any idea what I'm talking about, but let's just let's dig into this article from The Verge and see what they have to say about the new WandaVision release date. WandaVision, Marvel's first big Disney Plus show, will premiere on January 15th. Something besides The Mandalorian to dig into, by Julia Alexander. Now this came out on November 12th, so it's a few days old here, but it's the relevant, pertinent information. So here, let's get into it. WandaVision, one of Marvel Studios' most anticipated new series, finally has a release date. January 15th, 2021. The news came ahead of Disney's fourth quarter earnings call. Although WandaVision wasn't supposed to be the first Marvel Studios show on Disney+, with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier undergoing reshoots and delayed to 2021, WandaVision was bumped up. The estimated date has gone back and forth, with some suggesting that it would premiere in December 2020. Now it's back to 2021. WandaVision, which follows Wanda Maximoff and Vision from the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, is a fantasy series set within a sitcom-inspired universe. It's a weird-looking show, one that was filmed in front of a live studio audience. That I actually didn't know. I didn't know that they really filmed it in front of a live studio audience. That's pretty cool. Whether it finds a general audience outside of Marvel diehards, Wanda and Vision are great, but they're not exactly Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, is unclear. But the show is arriving at the perfect time. With The Mandalorian's second season up and running, Disney is looking for new anticipated series to keep people from canceling their subscriptions. WandaVision could be that show and may lead directly into The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Alright, so that's the article. Obviously, nothing really new here. I do think it's interesting that they say that it could lead directly into... I don't know about that. I don't know. I think there's other stuff on the docket for Disney Plus, and I'm not sure that they're going to roll right into... I've said this on the podcast before, but I think they're going to put a little bit of space in between each of these shows. I mean, it's a smart thing to do, really. I mean, you don't want to just boom, 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 boom. And they have other content. I mean, this is Disney we're talking about. They have so much other content, and I think they like to get the best bang for their buck out of each one before they try to shove another one out there. Like I said, nothing really new in the article. Pretty much everything I already said. But I do think it's important to note that everything has been pushed back. Black Widow, which was supposed to come out last May, was originally pushed to November and has now been pushed to May of 2021. Also, pushing back the Eternals. So it's not just these series, it's the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is, it's probably a good thing. Listen, hear me out. The last thing we want is 20th Century Fox-esque continuity or timeline issues. I would hate to have the delay of one show affect the storylines of others. By pushing them all back simultaneously, I'm hoping everything will just resume as it would have when the time is right, as if the delay never even happened. It may be wishful thinking, but for my mental health, I need to stay optimistic about the MCU. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's episode. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out on Twitter or Instagram at RealBrettScott. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to follow or favorite the podcast so you won't miss an episode. Also, if you'd like to see this podcast grow, the best thing you can do is to share the episode on social media. The response so far has been awesome, and I thank you. I know there are a million Marvel podcasts, so it really means a lot that you've given this one a chance. I know all of these delays are annoying, and believe me, I feel your pain. Hopefully this marks the last delay update that I have to do. And the next time that I talk to you will be to break down and review Season 1, Episode 1 of WandaVision. And hopefully that will be in January as planned. Once again, thank you for listening. My name is Brett Scott, and this has been Marvel Plus.